How's it going today, guys? Back today with another video from beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. I'm filming a bit later in the day, so this table is not scorching hot, so I can at least rest my hands a little bit. But today's topic of discussion, my go-to methods when trying to think up business ideas. So you want to start a business. Maybe you want to just start a side hustle, but you're having trouble thinking about exactly what it is you want to start. What could get traction and what could actually be something you could build? First and foremost, where my mind goes is there a wrong that you want to right within your day-to-day life? So maybe you're someone who likes to cook and there's always this part of the process that's a burden. Maybe you don't have the right pots and pans or there's never the right utensils. I actually don't cook at all, so I don't know why my mind went there and I have no examples within that space. But a lot of the founders that I personally work with have basically found niches that they were having trouble with in their own careers or within their own day-to-day lives, and basically said, I'm going to create the solution for that problem. So why I think that's so impactful and should really be a large focus for anyone thinking about starting a business is because if it's something that's bothering you in your day-to-day life, as much as we all like to think that we're super unique as individuals, we're really not. And if you're going through something that is a bother to you or an inconvenience or a burden in your everyday life or career, there's a very good chance that there's a lot of other people going through and experiencing the exact same thing as you. So I think that that's an awesome place to start, because who knows, you could think up an idea that impacts tons and tons of people. So that would be the first place I would always start. The second place that I would start, this is maybe more for people who are in the 9-to-5 world, because the other alternative, you'd already have a business, so maybe you've already got a little bit of a knack for creating business ideas, but basically try to put yourself out of business. This was actually a big proponent of me starting Every Second Accounts years ago. Was in my 9-to-5 role, I was just sitting there in my CFO position and thought to myself, what could put me out of business? Now, obviously, I'm super confident. I believe wholeheartedly in my abilities. I believe in the value that I'm providing, but what could be a out of business event for me? And I thought, man, if a service came in and provided a super high tier accounting service for cheaper than an employee's salary, without the benefits, without all of that extra added stuff, that could be the cost alternative. That could pretty much put me out of a job. And that literally was a foundational moment for me of starting Every Second Accounts, because I was like, well, if that's something that could put me out of business, then I'm going to go and create it. And you see this actually in the business world a ton. One of the most popular examples is Blockbuster and Netflix. If Blockbuster would have been more forward thinking, and I just watched a documentary, so maybe I don't know all of the details and stuff like that, and maybe they were a little bit more trying to get in the streaming space, but they had their own issues. But basically, if they were more forward thinking of, hey, people are just going to want to stream these and not want to come into stores. If they were actively trying to put themselves out of business, instead of resting on their laurels of being this amazingly huge conglomerate, they could have perhaps basically became Netflix instead of Netflix becoming their mortality event. If you think about Kohl's and JCPenney and all of these malls, and malls are making a bit of a resurgence, but I don't think we'll ever see it reach the heights that they reached in the 80s, 90s, and prior to that. So what's really interesting to me about that is if Kohl's and JCPenney, and just to mention those two companies again, would have been sitting in their boardrooms and their executives said, hey, do you think people will ever want to buy clothes online? Or maybe they don't want to come and shop at these huge, just absolute conglomerate stores? If they would have worked to put themselves out of business, maybe they could have been Amazon. And obviously Amazon sells everything, but maybe they could have had a leg up and really cornered that niche of the clothing market online and not been so ridden down by all of these competitors. So second piece of advice would be try to put yourself out of business. And if there's something that could put you out of a job or out of your current business today, I think that's another tremendous area to think about. That could be a business idea. So thank you so much for watching. I hope these tips helped, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.